Outsiders often marvel at Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's unbroken electoral success over more than a dozen years in power. To get a sense of how he managed it and why elections this June could be a turning point in the country's history, it's important to come to places like Sivas in central Anatolia.
This is the heartland of the AKP, the party formed by Mr. Erdogan and other Islamist-rooted politicians, which has governed Turkey since 2002. During that time, Sivas and dozens of other cities like it have prospered as never before.
One example of success is Osman Yildirim, head of a local chamber of commerce, who also runs a lens factory, looking for a niche in high-technology export markets.
2001 yılında Ticaret ve Sanayi Odası Başkanı olduğumda Sivas ve şu anda organize sanayi bölgesinde çekim yapıyoruz. Organize sanayi bölgesinde 36 tane fabrika, 1220 çalışan, yaklaşık 16 milyonda ihracatı olan bir bölgeydi. Ama aradan 12 sene, 13 sene sonra bugün sadece burayı değerlendirdiğimizde 7000 çalışan, 200 fabrika, işte 200 milyon dolara çıkmış, yaklaşmış ve bir ihracat boyutuna gelmiş.
In Sivas, the sources of President Erdogan's popularity are all too clear. Economic growth, increased social spending, and a political approach that reassures Sunni conservatives that the state that used to oppress them is on their side. But despite such successes, it's increasingly clear the status quo is no longer an option. Turkey has experienced 2 years of political turbulence kicked off by 2013 anti-government protests. Society is polarised between places like Sivas, which gave Mr. Erdogan a 70% vote in last year's presidential elections, and more secular outposts in cities like Istanbul and Ankara, and economic growth has slowed. Despite complaints that he is becoming increasingly authoritarian, Mr. Erdogan is pushing for a still greater concentration of power, which would turn Turkey into a formal presidential system. The election will decide whether he has enough support to do so. But there are already signs the AKP is more divided than ever before.
The debate on the executive presidency has become really poisonous. There are a number of concerns within the ruling party, AK Party, also in relation to the presidential system. Some people, like Abdullah Gül, the former president, have been openly against it. But we see that also from the fact that right now the ruling party has between 40 and 45% support according to the polls, whereas support for the presidential system is still in the low 30s. So from that as well, we can see that even within AK Party, support for the presidential system is not total.
The question is whether places like Sivas share such doubts, and whether the pious, socially conservative people who make up much of Turkey's population are willing to give Mr. Erdogan still more power.
Belki bu şu anda halka anlatılmadı, bir süreç lazım. Ama Cumhurbaşkanımıza güvenen halk buna tamam diyebilir. Ama bilmeyen halk halen kafalarında bir soru işareti var. Acaba başkanlık sistemi Türkiye'de nasıl olacak veya şu anda mı olacak? Yani bunun nasıl anlatılacak? Türkiye'ye nasıl etkisi olacak? Bunu şu anda ne ben ne işte Sivas gibi bir Anadolu şehrindeki halk çok bilmiyor. Belki buna bir süreç lazım diye düşünüyorum.
As the election looms, many polls show the AKP could struggle to get a constitution-changing majority. But one of the biggest factors determining Turkey's fate is the stance of the AKP base. So far, the view from Sivas is that despite the strong record of support for Mr. Erdogan, there are still big questions about what a presidential system might mean. And for the president to succeed in his ambition, he will need to enlist the support of many more Sivases across the country. Even for this formidable leader, that could be too big a challenge. Daniel Dombey, Financial Times, Sivas.